I think if you can do this, right, I think that there's a lot of people that can go out there and try to teach, learn, share their story to help other people, learn. And if you think about it, it's been a number of years, right? It's been a number of years that you've kept a lot of that stuff inside, bottled up. And I know that it impacted you pretty severely. This is your first pass, I think, at being selfless through this, right? I think that there was a long journey for you being selfish. No, please don't take this
Yeah,
with
I'm not.
offense,
No, for
right?
sure.
But now you are being selfless in your journey and saying, hey, this is how it truly impacted me. Can I go out and help other people that may be going through something similar or something that is traumatizing that's caused so much pain to help them get through it faster?
Right.
What you hate to see is someone going through, what has it been? I mean, has it been
We're going on 12
12
years.
years?
August will be
12
12. Yeah.
years, right?
Hello, what's up? Welcome to Guys Dealings with Feelings. I've got a special guest today. His name's Rob. He's a longtime friend. I think we've about going on 32 years we've known each other, and he's a successful guy in business. He's a super successful father of four. He's a super successful husband. And like I said, he's a great friend. I'm grateful to have him as a friend, and as long as it's been, and happy to have him with us because I know he's dealt with some stuff, and like the rest of us have, and he's willing to share. And I'm very happy to have you here, Rob.
Thanks for letting me come on, man. I appreciate the warm introduction, man. Those are some kind words, man.
Oh, for sure. Well, you live up to all of them for sure. You're somebody I look to on a lot of things, and I know I look to you for honesty and good feedback, things like that. And so I think you've got something to add to folks. Just we've all been through some shit, man. And if we can help other dudes out with that, I think it'll be beneficial for things. So
Right
again,
on,
we're
man.
appreciative to have you here. So I'm gonna kick right off. I know here recently you've had some, I know if it was in my life, I would call them, big things but in your life, you've done this a handful of times. I know at least, three, if not four or five. So kind of walk us through. You've had a career move, and that called for
Yeah,
an actual move.
yeah,
So how's that?
yeah.
How's that going?
Been a challenge. There's no doubt about it. Anytime you pick up and move, whether it's 5 miles down the road or 500 miles down the road, it's you're changing your life, man. So like with any changes in life, it definitely comes with challenges. So this one has been an interesting move for us, but we're trying to get settled in, and it's me and the family against the world right now.
Yeah. Have
Yeah,
do you,
trying to.
have you been able to find kind of one slice, like when you're at work, things are a little chill, or they're hectic there because you're trying to break in there new too,
Yeah, man, dude.
huh?
This is a loaded question, dude.
Well, you have to go into actually how work is. I was wondering if there's a safe
Yeah,
space, because I think
yeah,
we all need a safe space. Like,
safe space right now is really, for me, is really at home. Spending time with the wife and with our youngest. He's the one that's kind of stuck. You know, traveling with us. Out of the other
sure,
three, two are off and adulting, and which thankful they are really good at adulting so far. Knock on wood, right?
sure,
And the our our littlest big, our biggest little, she is still in Nashville with her mom,
hmm,
and we get to see her a little bit. But our youngest man, he's he's stuck traveling with us, man.
sure.
So he's really, so our safe space right now is really just kind of, honestly, it's the three of us.
Drawing it
So
in,
yeah, I mean, it's we've packed up and moved. Let's see here, what, 6 times in the past 8 years, something crazy
wow.
like that. So I mean, it's just like it's been a lot. So it's been a lot on Me, I think I'm fairly resilient through most of it, just pack and just roll. My wife is like freaking really good at packing and moving stuff. So if you need some guidance on how to get rid of things and how to pack them and move them, I'll tell you, she's got it down to a science. But probably our littlest guy is probably the one I worry about the most. I'd
Sure.
like to have some stability in his life.
Hmm.
Really not giving him the opportunity to just kind of dig in and make friends and be close. And now there's no family around either, so it's even kind of like more of a double whammy. So got some stuff going on in his space, but we just need to, we were talking the other day, and it was just really we got to dig into each other. Like I don't think there's any other point in time of the three of us, right? Where we felt like we need each other more than we need anybody else right now. So we're just,
Hmm.
trying to support each other through all the challenges that we all face. Yeah.
Sure, and that's amazing. And I want to get back. Help me remind me because I got to give some props. But help me remind me. I would like to get back to, and it's a global. When I say global, I mean the United States thing for men, where we want to take care of our families, work, move, etc., and we want to take care of our families, give a nice solid base, etc. So help me get back to that. But I got to give props. So Rob's wife is fucking amazing. I don't think we can go. I don't think we can go. I don't think she would claim to be perfect, and I'm not claiming she is, but she is an amazing human being when it comes to supporting her husband and supporting her family
God,
and
right?
being there for you guys. I think she is amazing, and I just want to give her some props because 6 times in 8 years, you're a great dude, but geez, it's
Man, it's
that's a
brutal,
lot on
dude.
any
Yeah,
and she
and
keeps a smile on her face, and I know she loves you, and I know she keeps you guys kind of solid at the core, and I wanted to throw that up for her.
well, I'll make sure that she hears that. I know that she'll appreciate it, and definitely kudos to you, man, for putting yourself out on a limb here. Chris and I, we've talked about it, right? Of your story and really kind of how you've come through your journey of life and now to this particular point. And you and I talked about it, right? Of her being like, oh, he's making a freaking podcast. Okay, we'll see what
Yeah.
happens. And then when she got dug into it, it was just like, holy crap, this is like transformative type stuff. And kudos for you for, again, trying to put yourself out there, man. It's not easy.
Yeah,
It's
well,
not
I
easy at
appreciate
all.
I appreciate that, and yeah, I mean she was one of my biggest supporters just getting going, and
I know,
I
right?
knew it was authentic, because I
Yeah.
knew she was ready to give it to me because I asked for it, and she just came through with nothing but love, and God, it was awesome. So she's so supportive of Rob. She has been very supportive of me,
Yeah.
I
And
got to point that out. Yeah,
yeah,
and
and not always supportive of you and the decisions you
right,
make. So this
right.
one was
So she's
definitely
not my
like,
big. I
oh,
wasn't,
okay.
yeah, I wasn't going into. She wasn't always my biggest fan, and it nothing. We've never had super odds or anything, but she would be
No, no,
critical
no,
of
no.
me if one would be. She is
Totally.
honest about that, and she gave me so much love, and I was so just touched by it and so thankful for it. But yeah, so she's very supportive. So I really, man, that really touches on something. Having a supportive partner is huge. I have one. You have one. Our
Oh,
friends that have them, I think, are truly blessed to have that in their lives. And I don't take away from anybody who's having to go through it alone, who's lost a significant partner. And so, I do acknowledge how grateful we are for that. But to jump back on, this is perfect because it's the juggle we have, man, of trying to provide for the family and trying to provide for the family, and then we got to be at our best selves so that we can do best in both worlds, right, financially
yeah,
and at
yeah,
home. And so
yeah.
do you have some tools maybe that you use? I know you've had some worked out in your past, but you have you diet workout. Is there things you're really paying attention to so you can keep shit on focus, or what's
Oh
your
man,
play?
if I had if everything was perfect in life, and the unfortunate thing is life just isn't freaking perfect, man.
Sure.
Um, I would be at the gym 5 days a week in the morning, doing my normal workouts, which I like to work out. I like to do those things. I would be playing some pickleball. I like to play some pickleball, on a consistent basis. But unfortunately, right through this move, like just priorities kind of change. So the ability for me to go take care of myself physically, right, isn't presented itself every day, right? There's other things that I'm really trying to work on, and right now that's work, right? Trying to ingrain myself into work and understand this new work culture. Because,
Mm-hmm.
man, I never seen so many landmines in a company in my entire life, man. It's like you're
Mm-hmm.
walking along and having some conversations, a lot of history in this little company. And dude, you step on one and it's not, I'm getting blown up. I'm inadvertently blowing up like a coworker or something. And it's like, dude, I gotta quit like doing this. So like just trying to be like super hyper focused and intentional there. And it just takes a lot of energy, man.
It is a
So
lot of energy.
dude, it is a lot of energy because it's like,
Yeah.
all right, hey, I want to be myself. I'm a pretty transparent dude. I'm pretty kind of straight to the point.
Mm-hmm.
I've messed up a lot, like a lot in work. And I think that's kind of what they pay me for is for me to kind of give my opinion but at the same time, it's like, dude, sometimes I give my opinion and it's like, well, wait a minute, boom, and somebody's getting blown up and it's somebody that I didn't want to get blown up, so
Right.
so really hyper focused on that right now. Hyper focused on the family,
Yeah.
right? Again, the three of us kind of making sure that we get some daily, just three of us. There's the internet, there's all of these things that just kind of happen, and particularly kids these days, they get wrapped up into it pretty quick. And that my youngest, he stays at home for
Mm-hmm.
homeschool. So there's another like check thing that,
His whole
Christy's got
world
to
is on the
do.
internet.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, dude, his whole world's on the internet, but Christy's whole thing, like she's got to not only do the household things, and just kind of taking care of us and being like the president of the family,
Mm-hmm.
right? She's CEO of the family. She kind of keeps us all in
Mm-hmm.
line and in check and with all the kids and making sure of all that. But she's got to, teach Andrew like school,
God
right?
dang. Yeah, that's all so
History,
much.
English, math, and dude, and he doesn't want to do it, right? So
Right. So
that's
it's like
tough for
really
him.
being a teacher.
Yeah, so it's like, all right, we've got to like not just be those things. We actually kind of have to be a family, So that means
Yeah.
just kind of being intentional with our time, and that's easier said than done as well too. I mean, you go to work all day and you come home at 5, 6, whenever that time is, and it's like, okay, hey, I need to, yeah, I need to do the household things. I need to re-engage. I need to, transition out of that, So, granted, I get a lot of grace from my wife of like, I come in the door and I don't come in the door in a great mood all the time.
Right.
Not in a bad mood, but just can come across as like I'm in a bad mood.
Right.
And she's like, okay, try again.
Right.
Doesn't get mad at me in the past. Of course she'd get mad at me, but she's like, all right, hey, try again. And it's like,
Right.
okay, hey,
Right.
how are you doing? How's your day? Right? Those kinds of
Yeah.
things. So, I
That's
wish it was
neat.
like something, I wish it was something profound that I could tell you, like, hey, here's how I'm keeping myself in line, again, diet and these, that, and the other. But it really, for me, it's not about necessarily my self care. It's more about my family care right now. And the family care is really kind of the most important thing to me. And so I'm okay with having a little setback there as far as like not maybe taking care of my physical health and those types of things. But it's just a choice that's got to be made right now, So, and
you
I'm
had a
okay
good
with that.
yeah, and you had a good foundation going in. You weren't super. I mean, I knew you were on a pretty good kick there for the last couple of years, staying on top of your health. And I know
Yeah.
you guys did some challenges. You stayed on your game. You guys were
Mm-hmm.
working out regularly and
Mm-hmm.
really
Yep.
watching your diet. And so I know there was a good solid foundation that gives you a little grace period that you can juggle these flames and get shit
Correct.
settled down, and then you'll be right
Correct.
back after it. Because I know that is key. And I
You know,
know
it,
you know
it,
that as well.
a lot of people say I got to start again. Christy even caught me the other day. I got to get back in the gym. I got to get back in the gym. It's like, well, dude, I'm always back in the gym. Just got to
Mhm.
just keep going,
Just keep going.
right? Just keep going. And we were talking the other day, something out at work. Forget what it was, but it was basically the analogy of like, hey, going to the gym one time and then being okay. Like, hey, I'm in great shape, and you're like,
Yeah.
that's not how it works.
Right.
Right? You can't just do something one time and expect to be perfect at it or expect to be great. You gotta like keep going at it. And
Mm-hmm.
it was something that was going on with work. I can't remember what it was. So, I try to remind myself just, keep doing the best you can, every
Yeah,
day.
sure.
Just try to keep doing the best you can.
Yeah.
Some days are really freaking good and some days are really freaking bad. And have a little bit of grace, a little bit of
Mm-hmm.
grace for myself. Again, easier said than done.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't mean that I don't get down in the dumps.
Mm-hmm.
If anything else, a big moving away from family, starting a new job can be exciting. At the same time, it can also put you into potential tailspin and some depression if you don't
Yeah.
watch it, right? Because you miss your friends, you miss the family that you have, you miss the patterns and the habits that you had, right? Just that consistent, just kind of,
Mm-hmm.
again, you wake up at this time and you go do this and you go do this and you go and do this, right? You can become, pretty methodical about life. And then all of a sudden it's not there. It's
Yeah.
like, all right, wait a minute. When do I got to get up? I got to
Yep.
be at work, but where's my new gym? Wait a minute, I don't really like my new gym. I don't have anybody there to talk to.
Yep.
Man,
When, where, and with who? You have all that
yeah,
nailed down,
right.
and then all of a sudden you ain't got none of it.
Yeah, you're looking around like trying to find some friends. Like, hey, me too. I'll
Yeah.
talk. I'll
Go
talk
find
to
them.
anybody.
Yeah.
So it's like, hey, anybody want to talk? They don't
And I
like
don't
to
know
talk
that
to you all the time.
yeah, and I don't know that region. We're here in the South, which I guess you're where you are. You haven't quite left the South, but you're pushing it. You
Oh
might be
yeah, man.
Midwest. You might be
Yeah,
Midwest,
yeah,
and
yeah.
so here in the South, you can get away with, hey, what's going on? They gonna talk back. Us Southerners are
Correct.
nosy, and we like to get in folks' business, and that's the quickest way is to be nice
Yes.
and just
Yep.
be real receptive and figure out what you've been up to.
Yeah.
But
Exactly.
and so I don't know. I know down in Florida, when I was dating my girlfriend, I'd be down there. I had to watch it because they're trying to get on with life. And I know you spent a stint in
Yeah.
Florida. They're
Oh.
trying to get
Oh
on with
yeah,
life,
dude.
and you get to him hawing around, and they're like, "What the fuck are you doing, man? Let's go. I want to check
Go.
out." Like,
Yes.
damn your
Yes.
granny. You know what I'm saying? I don't care what she said.
Dude, it's so funny. Like you're trying to check out at the grocery store, and us, we're like, "Hey, how's it going?"
Sure.
Talking to and they
Yeah.
just look at you like, "Why are you talking to me?"
Well, I
They
know.
won't even tell you how much you owe them. They just expect you to look down and be
Look,
like, "Oh, here it is." Put the
look.
credit card in, pay me the
Yeah.
cash. They're not going to say anything. I remember when moving to Florida and just being like, "Why is everybody just so rude?"
I know. These
I
different,
don't.
different
It's different.
cultures. Yeah,
Different
different
cultures.
cultures, and
You learn
I
to
get it.
adapt.
Yeah, I get it. I respect and I adapt, but I see what you're saying. You're trying to find a who, just just that you can bump into in that motherfucker,
Yeah,
and they're
please,
like,
somebody talk to me. Yes.
"Excuse
Yes.
me, sir. I'm here to have me time. Leave me
They
alone."
yeah, they take their headphones off like like
What?
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 Like,
What?
oh,
Yeah.
hey, what's happening?
And then you're
Are
like,
you
"Oh
using
fuck
that?
it. I'll wipe it off when I'm
Yeah, right.
done." That's
It's so
funny.
stupid.
Yeah,
It's
so
so
many
stupid.
hurdles you have to get through there, man, and it's you knew them going in, and you still chose it. So I know you know
Yeah.
what to do. It's just you got to
Yep.
slog through it. And I, like you
Yep.
said, I think that some of the content I'm putting out, I'm really trying to show like I don't think it's easy. None of this is
No.
easy, and all of it
Mm-mm.
takes discipline and hard work and disappointment and getting back up.
Yeah.
But doing that in a positive direction and really paying attention to how you feel, like you said, not slipping into a depression. I mean, you could easily slip into some dumb shit and not even know it. And then all of a sudden you're in it and you're in that tailspin down.
Yeah.
And if we can really pay attention to ourselves, keep checking, I know, like we said, you got the support at home. I got the support at home. They kind of help keep us in check, but keep ourselves in check, being open to feedback and hearing people we know and
Yep.
trust kind of tell us, hey man, what you chill out on that, or just step on the gas on this. And it's so hard to get through it when you're in it. But man, everything's hard. Like having a shitty, depressed life's hard too. That's not easy. It's not
Yeah. It's
like,
all you're focusing on.
yeah, it's not like when you're down in the dumps and you spiral down and you end up in a really shitty situation. That's super easy, and this is the hard way. They're both
Yep.
hard. They both have their shitty spots, but this one has like a huge payoff. I know you guys have had a really good run of happiness, and all the kids are doing great. I know little man's struggling right now, but Al's going to be well.
Yeah.
Always
Well,
going to be well because he's surrounded with love.
we will, I don't know what it's going to look like on the other side. I know what I want it to look like on the other side. Right. And, you know, that's the thing, is to try to stay focused on the objective. It's not how you get there, right? People are like, oh, life is all about the journey, man. Well,
Mhm.
yeah, if you don't really care about what the destination is, but I think we all kind of care about what the destination. I'm not saying ignore the journey, but be
Mhm.
like in intentful. I don't know if that's the right word or if that's even a word, but just be, like, hey, I need to get from point A to point B. There's 1,000 different ways to get to point B,
Sure. Sure.
right? And it's might not necessarily be the most direct path. I think you and I can definitely be a testament of not taking the
Of
direct
taking this
path.
road.
Yeah, like, hey, what's over here? Let's go right, and no, that's a dead end,
Just
and then just back up, turn around, and go the other way,
keep getting up. Yep.
Um, I don't know. I think those are some things that I try not to beat myself up on. I still know what my destination is. I'm not there yet. Definitely not there yet. I'm still too young to be at the destination. I think I'd like to be further along on my journey, whether it be, emotionally, whether it be financially, whether it be, whatever. But I have to be okay and be like, all right, hey, there were some decisions that I made, right or wrong. Okay, those impacted my progression. All right, cool. I can't go back and change those. What I can do is learn from them.
Mhm.
Like, you know, um, something as simple as like freaking selling a house, right? So we sold our house and moved to Florida and had always been in the home ownership business, right? Family, family treat, we try to treat our family like a business,
Mhm.
home ownership business, and that's part of it. And we really weren't, this was our first move out of state. Like this was a big, like, whoa, like, hey, this isn't moving down the road. This is like packing up and literally saying adios to your friend and really starting over. And the decision we made at that time was, well, we don't know if this is going to be long term. Let's just rent for a little bit until we figure out what it is. Well, 2 years into it, insert a um, pandemic, a generational, once in a lifetime, world changing event. And who in their right mind would have thought that you would have seen houses appreciate at
Five
20%,
time or something like
five
that sort
times
of.
what it normally is, right? And I'm sitting here on the sidelines going, damn, man, I wish I had my freaking home ownership right now. That's a
Yeah.
lot of assets and a lot of increase in wealth that I missed out on just because I was unsure of my commitment to the move. That's really what it was all about. And, you know, was that the right decision? It was for us at the time.
Yeah.
It's just what we knew.
Yeah.
We never done this before. So now fast forward, we've made this move, right? So this is a move into, we got back into home ownership, right? Got back into home ownership, purchased a home when we moved back to Tennessee to start building that wealth because housing will help you build wealth. There's no doubt about it, right? Owning a home will help you build wealth. Owning multiple homes will help you build generational wealth. So we got back into the home ownership and we're able to build some equity and we needed a place to live up here, right? And weren't in a position to be able to keep the home in Tennessee and purchase something here or rent something here. It just didn't make financial sense. So we sold that when we moved here. Part of me is like, oh man, did I make the right decision? Because now I'm committed, right? I'm committed into an area I know nothing about,
Hmm.
right? I don't know if it's going to appreciate like we all wanted it to, right?
Sure.
So now it's like, all right, hey, this is a commitment. Now I gotta, what if I don't like this commitment? Okay, it's a decision that I've made, right? So
Right.
always freaking second guessing myself, on those types of things. But, I learned a lesson the first time of like, hey, don't get out of a home ownership, right? You need to own a home. Like it's a good wealth building thing. And it's not for everybody. I'm not saying it's for everybody, but for
Sure.
me and for, my approach on life and family, right? My family's been in the real
Hmm.
estate
Yeah.
business,
Whole
right? So
family. Yeah.
that's ingrained in me, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
So, I think just kind of going back to, hey, we make decisions, we do the best we can with the knowledge that we have,
At that
and
time. That's right.
at the time, and it may be the right decision, might be the wrong decision, recognize it for what it is like, hey, you either go left, you go right, you go straight, right? Pick
And,
something,
and you just
right?
live,
You,
and
you,
then you live
you
with
got
it
to
and
go
learn.
somewhere,
Yeah.
right? And go. And you might not know it immediately if it was a good, bad decision. You might know it really quick. I don't know.
Right.
Um, but at least you're going to make that decision to be able to keep you on your journey.
Right.
Otherwise, you're just sitting stagnant, man. And
Right.
stagnation is not going to get you anywhere,
Just like if your
So
money's sitting
yeah,
in the bank is losing money because it's not growing like the inflation is. If you're not moving forward,
yeah,
you're not growing.
yeah,
And if we're not growing, we're dying. I mean, we naturally are constantly trying to grow, and when we stop doing that, then we're just dying. And so
Yeah.
we do have to keep making those choices to plow forward. And the same situation, Florida and now where you are,
Hmm.
uh,
Hmm.
isn't necessarily the same situation.
No.
Hopefully we don't have another global
Yeah.
pandemic coming up,
Yeah. Right.
so
Maybe
our
we
house is at
will.
their peak. Yeah, our
Yeah.
house is at their
Maybe we
peak or
will, and I
not.
get to stay healthy, and our houses are appreciate like no other
Yeah.
again. I don't know.
Right.
Probably not going
Right.
to
So
happen. At least
yeah,
something
I mean,
completely different.
it's a real estate is an up and down game, and you just have to, do the best you can. And I think that's another thing that, like you said, give yourself some grace, give us people around us grace, like, because we're just doing the best we can, and we're trying to be happy. We want our family to be happy. As dudes, I think we're kind of, it's born in us, or it's raised in us to be the provider and get out there and get it. But we also need to understand our families and the people that we love, and that takes this emotional piece, which I feel like even right now in your life is kind of on the side. Like all your shit's kind of set to the side right now. That's what we talked about, the
Hmm.
foundation.
Hmm.
Like
Hmm.
that's why we need to keep a good foundation in case we got to shift, like, and gotta deviate from what we know is essential, because we got to take care of the people around us. And I think that does give us value for sure in a family unit. And I've always embraced the role too. And for so long, I guess I had goals, but they weren't really, maybe they weren't good goals. I don't know what it is, but having a goal, like you said, and just knowing you're trying to get there, not necessarily how you get there, that's not figured out yet, but you know
Hmm.
what it is. And as long as we have that intent, I think we know to keep choosing something instead of just sitting still. And before Joel passed away, dude, I wasn't doing. I feel like I was wasting life like a mother, dog, and
You think
just
so?
yeah, I do, because I didn't really know what made me happy. Right, like sitting around watching, like, go to work all day and then come home and sit on the couch and watch TV and drink, I thought was like good. Like I thought it was a reward. And in hindsight, I was wasting a lot of time in life just sitting there. I should have been more engaged with, with the kids. Probably I should have. I should have been more present in my own way. Like, I'm not bagging on my family at all. They're amazing and all that. It's me. And so I have some of my why is because I got to do it better than I did at the first 40 something. And so that's part of my why. I want to keep getting better. I want to be so much better when I die than when I started. And that's something that I
Some
look
of us
back
are
on.
stubborn. Like I
You
think
know,
there's I've always kind of had I want to say stubbornness. Maybe you have to ask Chrissy. Chrissy tell you like, hey, what's the right word to describe me in my
yeah,
decision making, right? Um, I think there's a part of me that just wants to prove the person or prove somebody wrong,
sure,
but I've always kind of been like that. And I wish I could have recognized that probably a little bit younger in life,
sure.
right? To just be like, okay, these people are successful. Like find that successful person and mimic them and
Mimic.
follow them and do them. But I want to be unique. It's in my personality, right? It's why I drove a 1989 Bronco in South Florida.
Right.
Nobody drives 89 Broncos in South Florida,
So OJ
right?
Simpson.
Right. Like, dude, they're riding
He
around
was
in
off the street at that
Bentleys.
time. Yeah, yeah.
Yes, they're riding around in Bentleys. I mean, they got like a Bentley's like a Chrysler 300 down there, right? You
Right.
pass them like, oh,
So
hey,
many cars.
Chrysler 300, and it's no, that's a Bentley,
Right.
right? But I'm always been a little bit different, whether it's in my style, but I think it's definitely obviously been in my decision making, and I've learned that, hey, through the school of hard knocks.
Hmm.
Right. Sometimes a little bit of conformity is okay. Have some uniqueness, but at least try to a little bit of conformity and then try to understand truly what people are doing successfully and study that and try to, I wouldn't say mimic, right? But try to mimic as much as possible and learn
Sure.
from it. I think that would be some great advice to any young person that's out there. It's like, hey, you can blaze new trails. But a lot of times those trails have already been blazed, but maybe in a different area or different focus or whatever. But just, find that and find somebody that's you can look up to. Could be a bunch of different people,
Hmm.
and try to mimic them versus trying to just figure it out on your own, you know? And sometimes you do have to figure some things out on your own where you don't have a good support network or you don't have just people around you that you can look up to. I mean, there's, you know, you and I are very lucky, right? We grew up
Yeah.
middle class, suburbs, you know, outside of a growing town that was transformative as far as growing it, particularly through the late 90s and early 2000s, right? And a lot of people don't have that, you know, so I definitely get that. But even then, it's like, hey, you got access to the internet, you know, you got this, right? You got podcasts, right? Um, Try to find those people that are out there that are good, that you see them and you go, you know what? All
They
right,
have what you. Yeah.
let me follow them. And I promise you, you can either A, learn what decision to make, or you can learn what decisions not to make, right? And that's
For
what, even
sure.
when I'm talking like people in business, it's like, hey, I can tell you what not to do. Can't tell you what to do. I can tell you what not to do. I can tell you what failed, right?
Mhm.
And then we can speculate on, hey, here's what I think can work and what I think can happen for us as far as, you know, being tactical. Don't do these things
Right.
though. Right?
Right.
I promise you,
Yeah.
I've done them. You don't want to do that.
That's so in my mission. You know, you and I have a lot of this in common. We burned our hand on so many fucking stoves, and it's like
Too much stuff. Are you sure?
I know we need to
I
capitalize
still
on
don't
it.
think it's hot.
I know
I still don't think it's hot.
we've got to capitalize on how many times we've done it, and hopefully some people will listen. And I think, you know, like you're saying, you see somebody who has what you want, and you mimic them, and you don't copy them exactly, but you mimic them. You mimic their behaviors.
Yep.
You mimic their patterns, and then when you get to the point that it deviates from what you want, or you want to push past where they are, then there comes your
Yeah.
uniqueness. And
Yeah.
you know, I just did a conference this weekend, and significance is one of our core like things that we need to satisfy is to be significant. And you know, I'm covered in tattoos and got a foot long beard. You know, it's clear I try to have uniqueness and
Yeah.
find
Yeah.
significance. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? It's obvious
Yep.
in me as well. And certainty and significance are two big ones. Like you want those things, and you've got to make a mental shift to growth and loving, so that that's the space that you're in, instead of trying to always be, because certain and significance are my two main ones. And I would like to shift them to growth and connection / love, where
Okay. Yeah.
I, I can grow that. You know, love through Joel's
Yeah.
thing, man.
Yeah.
Love is what got me through. I've just started doing this meditation where I show gratefulness, and I know we saw each other at a funeral. Rob had a death in the family recently. We saw each other there, and I gave you a total shift in perspective on the line that leads up to the
Mm.
remaining family, right?
Hmm.
And that is one of
Yeah,
the
you did.
things. Yeah, that is
You
one of the
absolutely did.
things that I give gratitude for in the morning, is that 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 fountain of love in the scenario. And I'm just so grateful for the love that I had. And so I feel and that really set into me that whatever it is, you know, when we're talking about a higher power, creator, any of that stuff, whatever it is, love is part of that, because it feels so amazing to get and receive. It's so healing. And so if I could grow, and especially in that, I feel like I could make a positive mark on this world. And I'm really trying to utilize, you know, Joel's passing as a way that I can help other people as well. I went through a lot of tough times, and you know, I know you guys have been through some tough stuff too, and all these guys out here going through tough shit, man. And it's just, nobody really wants to hear it from dudes. And so I'm really appreciative that you were willing to share with us kind of what you're doing. And you know, I'd like to probably have you back in probably 6 months, and once you're back in your routine and you've been able to settle down, and you can kind of give us some guidance on what it is that Rob does in his normal
Yeah.
uprooted
Yeah.
patterns.
Uprooted.
Yeah, shit's just
Yeah.
kind of like keeping safe, and then you'll get it safe, and then you'll just keep safing everything out until you got a nice broad safe area to operate in.
Yeah,
And
well, it's you know, it's kind of like a trauma. Like you go through trauma, right? And you're like, all right, what's the immediate thing? All right,
mm,
I gotta cut off the not cut off, but I got to stop the blood. I got to do this, that, and the other. Or right now, my trauma is my family, right? So
yeah,
those are the immediate things I'm trying to focus on first.
mm-hmm,
And I think if the three of us are in good good standings together, it allows us to then be able to kind of, I don't say step away, but allow us to okay, hey, now
Draw.
let me
Yeah.
focus on my internal side. So being trying to be a little bit of selfless, maybe in this particular, point in time.
Yeah, for sure.
Um,
And a
I
good
want to say,
foundation, right? A
yeah,
foundation
yeah,
at
yeah,
home that's a good
yeah.
foundation for
Oh yeah,
life.
dude. Yeah, absolutely. Something just to kind of talk about on this one. So I know that I said that was, proud of you for stepping out and kind of doing this. I think if you can do this, right, I think that there's a lot of people that can go out there and try to teach, learn, share their story to help other people, learn. And if you think about it, like, it's been a number of years, right? It's been a number of years that you've kept a lot of that stuff inside, bottled up. And I know that it impacted you pretty severely. Um, this is your first pass, I think, at being selfless through this, right? I think that
Mm.
there was a long journey for you being selfish. No, please don't take this
Yeah,
with
I'm not.
offense,
No, for
right?
sure.
Um, but now you are being selfless in your journey and saying, hey, this is how it truly impacted me. Can I go out and help other people that may be going through something similar or something that is traumatizing that's caused so much pain to help them get through it faster?
Right.
What you hate to see is someone going through, what has it been? I mean, has it been
We're going on 12
12
years.
years?
August will be
12
12. Yeah.
years, right?
And I
So
wasted, at 7 of them were just not total. 5 of them were totally for shit. Then up through
yeah,
about 8, I was just kind of getting
yeah,
by. And then really
yeah,
year 9 are really
yeah, yeah.
stratosphere. I mean, I was
You
working the
know,
whole time,
yeah.
therapies and shit like that. But
One of the things that, my dear lovely wife, I love her so much, and I know that you know that I love her so much, but oh my God, she's a sharer, and she
yes,
shares freaking everything on the line. Like, if you want to know what I'm doing, I promise you, all you got to do is follow her, right?
sure.
And I get onto her sometimes about, please don't put this on the line, right? Please don't talk about these. There's some things I'd like to try to keep private. And she always reminds me, that our
Somebody's out there.
story can help somebody else that's out there. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
oh God, why you gotta be like that, man? I just
Yeah.
want to keep some of it, but at the same time, I get it.
Yeah.
So, she's had some traumatizing things. That's somebody I know this is about dudes, um, and you're trying to help guys out, but, to have her on would be probably somebody that could give you some great just insight of
Sure.
just, regardless of human help,
Right. Good
right?
human. She's a
Versus,
good human. Yeah.
good human help of all the different things that she's gone through in her past. And you talk about methodical, I get a lot of my tactics really from her,
Mm-hmm.
and she's been such an instrumental part of positive things in my life, definitely some instrumental part, some of the negative things, right, in my life, right? It happens. But I don't know, kind of a little bit of a rambling there, but man, just want you to
No.
know that I appreciate you, man. I think that you're doing
Yeah.
some great stuff. And,
Thank
the
you.
biggest thing is just to make sure to keep doing it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
this is what, like, episode
3, I
whatever it
think.
is.
3. Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's see.
three,
3 or
right?
4. Yeah.
You're gonna look back on episode like 3, go back and let's look at episode 3 and be
Yeah.
like,
I
oh
know.
my God, what was I thinking? What was I
It'll be in the
doing?
archives. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
yeah,
hoping to
yeah,
get
yeah.
better, man. Every day, I want to get better. I want to do this. Like you say, I'm trying to do something selfless, and that I want to help dudes out, man. Because it's so shitty. It's such a shitty place, and to be on the outside looking in,
God,
like,
it sucks.
man, I want to help pull as many people up as I can, and they'll
Yeah.
push me in seeing where they are and knowing I got to keep going. You don't want to say that you're disabled because you want to make that your story, but sometimes you are kind of fucked up but nobody can see it. And then, you don't want to say it. There's so many complexities that
Yeah,
go into it,
yeah,
man. And I
yeah.
just don't know, kind of being they called me a subject matter expert going through something like that. And then coming out the side, instead of having the go to school degree part, that's my creds on it. And so I don't know, man. I'm hopeful that this is a super long journey. I'm going to plow as hard as I have at anything in life on this. So super
Well,
appreciative to have had you, man, and give us your time. And
absolutely, brother.
yeah, take care. We'll talk to you soon. All right.
Yeah, man.
All
Appreciate
right.
it.
See you.